Hello and welcome to Martin's Money Mutterings. This week's headlines: danger! If you only pay the minimum on your credit card, you could be in trouble, but there's a new calculator on the site to help. Mortgages. Do you have a fixed rate mortgage that's about to end? 250,000 people do. If that's you, I'll be telling you exactly what you should be doing to save money and make sure your rate doesn't go bang up. Recipes. Yes, recipes on MoneySaving Expert. Thousands of thrifty recipes. I'll be telling you why and how in a moment. Savings stamps, a way to get a 5% boost on your Christmas shopping budget. Well, hey, free money, easy money, not a problem. Champagne for a £5. It's true. And finally, insurance. Home and car insurance costs are going to rise. Sort it now, even if you're not at renewal. This is Martin's Money Muttering. Self-evidently, of course, I'm Martin. What's it all about? Easy. This is the website, MoneySavingExpert.com. Each week, I send an email. 40, 50 different ways to save money go in that email. This is a video or audio commentary that goes with it, but, and regulars will know what I'm about to say, it's not a standalone. So if you don't have the email in front of you, go to moneysavingexpert.com/latest tip, and you'll find all the info there, and then watch and listen and read at the same time. You need 3 eyes to do this, but we'll tell you how to get a cheap eye. It's money saving after all. Right, this week's big article, minimum repayments. There's a new calculator on the site. I'm going to do it in brief. It works like this. Credit card minimum repayments are a devious way to make you pay a lot of money. Why? Because the amount that they ask you to repay hardly covers the interest, which means you're not really paying off the credit card. Think of it. You've got £3,000 on a credit card at 17.9% interest, paying only the minimums. Guess how long it'd take you to repay? Over 40 years. And it would cost you £6,200 in interest. Well, that's one specific example. What the new calculator does is you put in your credit card, you tell it what the interest rate is, and it'll tell you how long it will take you to pay off that card in full and how much it'll cost you. The numbers are shocking, and I want to shock you because you can beat the minimum repayment trap. Credit card companies would love you to be perpetually in debt. It means you perpetually owe them, and you're perpetually paying them interest, and they're perpetually making a fortune. But enough perpetuallys, how do you stop it? That was very smooth. I wish I'd scripted that. I never script it, but I like that. Anyway, this is the trap. Think about it. £3,000 on a credit card, and you're paying off 2% of that. That's £60. Now, the problem is, as the amount that you owe decreases, so does the amount that you repay, which is why you're never really repaying it. So, if instead of saying I'm going to pay off 2%, you pay off a fixed £60 a month, see what I mean? You're not actually paying any more than you would do in the first month, so I know you can afford it. Then instead of 40 years to repay it, take you 7 years. Instead of £6,200 in interest, it's about £2,300 in interest. That's the way you beat the trap. Read the article. If you pay minimum repayments on any credit cards, please read it, or you'll be charged a fortune by those nasty baskets out there. See, polite word, baskets. You know what I really mean, though. Anyway, next, mortgages. 250,000 fixed rate mortgages are coming to an end in the next 3 months. Why? Because 2 years ago, most fixed rates tend to be about 2 years, it was really cheap to get a fixed rate. Loads of people did it. Problem is, now it's not so cheap anymore. If you want a cheap rate now, they're roughly 1.5%, massive amount, more expensive than they were 2 years ago, which means if you're one of those people whose mortgage is coming to an end, you're going to probably be paying hundreds of pounds more a month. What does that mean? Well, the only thing you can really do about it is remortgage to get the cheapest possible rate, so that gap is as narrow as it can be, so that you're not having massive payment shock. The problem is, October to December is when these mortgages are ending, and a lot of people don't realise 3 months before your mortgage ends is when you need to start looking for a new remortgage deal. That's why I'm waving my flag, red flag, you can't see it, but it's there in my hand, or in my head anyway. Please start your remortgage process now. There's full guides on the site, 30-page free printed guide if you want to order one, or you can download the PDF straight away on how to remortgage cheaply. But if your fixed rate mortgage is coming to an end, you need to act now. Next on my list, recipes. Quite a fun one this week. Why is this in? Because last week I put in loads of fast food vouchers, and I felt guilty. Now, I do like a bit of fast food myself, but I did feel quite guilty about putting it in. And it reminded me that there is an amazing resource on the site, incredible, called the Old Style Recipe Thread. Old Style is the thrift board where lots of people who want to take it back to how it used to be. I'm a system player, you see. I like to beat the system. Whereas thrift is more about just doing things the old style way, doing it better. Why bother to get the cheapest cleaning powder when you can white vinegar's almost as good? It's a bit of a lifestyle change. And they've got loads of recipes for feeding families really cheaply, thousands of them. There's a massive index to do it. I thought I'd tell you all about it so that I'm making penance for my encouraging you all to eat fast food last week. Next on my list, saving stamps. Interesting one. This is more about a loophole, how to boost your Christmas spending. I do always do it at the beginning of the year and then about 3 months before Christmas. This is what it is. Your supermarkets say, save with us the entire year and then we'll give you a boost to your spending when you come and shop with us at Christmas. Now, the problem is, 1, your savings aren't protected, and 2, that boost isn't really that good. But there's a way to work around this. It needs to be remembered that you can only spend the stamps in their supermarket, so you never need to put any more money in than you'll actually spend. It would be pointless, you wouldn't gain. But it works like this. Instead of a bank account that pays you interest every day, when you put money in saving stamps, they give you a bonus depending on how much money you have in on a certain date. Take Asda as an example, it's November the 20th. So what you do is you put your savings in a normal savings account and earn interest on it that way. Then a couple of days before that trigger date, 20th of November for Asda, you buy as many savings stamps as you want and they'll give you a boost. On Asda it's up to 4%, in some places it's up to 5%. So on the 18th of November you buy your savings stamps, 20th of November you get your boost. You've effectively got a year's interest for having the money in there for 2 days. Do you like it? I do. Simple, cute, easy. So a quick and easy way to boost your Christmas spending on top of the £50 free I gave you last week if you spend in supermarkets, because you can use that as well, really easy with the Abbey card. Have a look at last week's email for that one. Next on my list, £5 champagne. Sounds great, doesn't it? Is great, because it's proper champagne. Champagne can only be called champagne if it is the right type of sparkling wine coming from the Champagne region in France. The only problem, it's in Woolworths. Not that that would be a problem, but it's only in the big out-of-town Woolworths. But if you live near one, they're trying to bring down champagne prices across the country. £5 way cheaper than anything we've seen before. I've seen it at £9 and we've commonly at about £10.40 in Tesco's, but £5 for a bottle of champagne if you live near a big Woolies. Well, hey, bottoms up. And finally, serious warning, insurance. We all know about the terrible floods across the country. Now, this doesn't just impact home insurance costs, it impacts car insurance costs for 2 reasons. One, because they're the same insurers and it's all about their profitability. So if they've lost a lot of money in the floods, they need to increase and get more money in from all different outlets, car and home being the 2 big insurance types. But also, many cars were lost in the floods too. Of course, they get flooded out and washed down the roads. So another reason for prices going up. Now, what a lot of people say to me when I say, watch out because home and car insurance costs are going up, they say, but I'm not at renewal for another 6, 7, 8 months. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is the point. If you haven't claimed during the year, most insurers will allow you to stop your policy and give you a pro rata refund. They may occasionally charge you £10 or £20 or £30 for doing so, but actually in the big scheme of things that doesn't really change it. So if your insurance isn't particularly cheap and you want to get a cheap insurer, you're better off to cut it halfway through the year, provided they're not one of the very few that have a big penalty, and simply rebroke your insurance now, getting the very cheapest insurance, car and home, that you possibly can, because it's going to last for a year, the new pricing. The car and home insurance article will tell you exactly how to do that. I'm not going to run through that here, but it's just worth thinking about if you pay a lot on car and home insurance, sorting it out now. That is it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. Next week,